Now it is time to look at some Shaman cards. First up is Burlock. Common, 2 mana for a 2/2 Murloc. Battlecry, freeze an enemy. A slightly upgraded Glacial Shard with Murloc combo potential. Being able to slow down another aggro deck could turn the tide in your favor if you're playing an aggressive Murloc deck. Not a bad card for Quest Shaman or to pick in the arena. Average equals an average score, 5 out of 10. Ice Fishing. Common, 2 mana spell, draw 2 Murlocs from your deck. If you're at the point where you have the mana to spend on this card, you're either far enough ahead that it doesn't matter, or far enough behind that it doesn't matter. Murlocs want to be aggressive and playing creatures every turn. Throwing off your curve to just draw and give your opponent a turn to stabilize is a losing play. For that, it is a 1 out of 10. Drakari Defender. Common, 3 mana for a 2/8. Taunt, Overload 3. Shaman's attempt at a stall for aggressive decks. The biggest obvious downside is that if you play it on curve, you're left with only 1 mana on your next turn. There are very few 1-cost cards worth playing as a Shaman. It also doesn't make any of the currently good Shaman decks any better or benefit the new freeze style that seems to be introduced in this set. I believe this is a 3 out of 10. Icebreaker. Rare, 3 mana weapon with 1 attack and 3 durability. Destroy any frozen minions damaged by this. Shaman is getting a lot of freeze effects in this set, and this is trying to take advantage of that. Shamans have a good amount of removal with their spells already. I don't see it being better than any of the other Shaman weapons. It's a 3 out of 10. Voodoo Hexer. Rare, 5 mana, 2/7. Taunt, freeze any character damaged by this minion. A mid-game stall is not what you're looking for against aggressive decks, which is what this card is attempting to do. So far, there's nothing to make me think Free Shaman is going to be a thing. This card isn't going to make it one. It's a 2 out of 10. Avalanche. Rare, 4 mana spell. Freeze a minion and deal 3 damage to adjacent ones. 3 damage on turn 4 is a good way of dealing with some minions still around from turns 1 through 3. I think this is a really good arena card and a really below average card in Constructed. They're just much better removal spells for Shaman. Just because I think it's going to be really good in Arena, it's a 4 out of 10. Cryostasis. Epic, 2 mana spell, give a minion +3/+3 and freeze it. Obviously, this wants to be comboed with a card like Tar Creeper. That would give you a turn 4 6/8 with taunt during your opponent's turn. Even playing it on a Stonehill Defender or Stoneclaw Totem could buy you a turn or two to get into the mid or late game. It's a 7 out of 10. Snow Fury Giant. Epic, 11 mana for an 8/8 elemental. Costs 1 less for each mana crystal you've overloaded this game. The first class-specific giant. One of my favorite Shaman decks uses all the biggest minions, then combos them with the faceless minions and ancestral spirits. As more of a fun deck than competitive one, but this will be a good addition to it. It's a 5 out of 10. Murabi. Legendary, 6 mana 4/4. Whenever another minion is frozen, add a copy of it to your hand. A really strong effect on a pretty weak body. Has a lot of similarities to Gadgets and Auctioneer in that they are the same cost and stats with strong abilities, and Auctioneer is borderline broken. Obviously not something you're going to play on turn 6 by itself. A lot of combo potential, and against another slow deck has game-breaking potential. For that, it's an 8 out of 10. Thrall Deathseer. Legendary, 5 mana, gain 5 armor. Battlecry, transform your minions into random ones that cost 2 more. Your hero power now transforms a random friendly minion into a random one that costs 1 more. A super evolve that lets you use a mini evolve each turn. Pretty obvious what deck this will go in, and we'll definitely see play in it. Turning your early 1 through 3 cost minions into 3 through 5 cost minions can force your opponent to have a big board clear or lose the game. A strong card in the type of deck it will be played in. It is another 8 out of 10. So a lot of good cards, I think, with Shaman. The 2 legendaries belong in 2 different kinds of decks that are both what I think will be competitive. At least Thrall is definitely one. Not so much maybe Murabi without a few more freeze effects, which may come in the next few sets. The commons and rares, not great, but that's kind of what you want, is legendaries that are good and commons and rares that set up a different kind of play style for the class. Overall, Shaman, pretty good new cards.